Hey guys, this is John with the Alpha Channel update for Thursday, July 18th, 2024 here in Los Angeles. And I'm here to promote my audiobooks, 26 hours of the best science fiction you've ever listened to, here on YouTube, Legacy of a Mad Scientist and the Legend of Ashley Fox. And the book we're going through today, Gray number 5, actually part 2 totally parallels my story, and actually chapter 2. It's kind of the fourth chapter after a prologue and an intro, and then the second chapter. We talk about the same kind of things. I also have a comic book for you guys. It's in the description as a PDF. You can check it out. Ashley Fox, Ninja Babysitter. Ashley is, this is well after the 2 audiobooks here on the channel. She is much older and has had a bunch of other adventures. And she is now rescuing children from a Pizzagate cult. It's pretty awesome. You should check it out. Because what else are you doing this weekend? It's summer. I hope you're doing something awesome. I am having a great summer. I'm having a really good time. I was wearing this shirt to the supermarket today, and a guy stopped me and pointed out all the runes and was telling me what they are. We had a great little conversation, which is amazing for, I'm here in the Valley of Los Angeles. Kind of surrounded by Jews, Armenians, and Mexicans. But I met a German guy, and he knew more about it than I did. Although I know that these are the guys who got in lots of trouble. But anyhow, we're here for Gray number 5. And I have a bunch of stuff I want to talk about after this. So if you want to stay tuned or skip to the end, watch me continue to pour kerosene on the fire that is the dumpster fire that is my life. I am trying to get canceled if you haven't caught on. So this is Gray number 5 by Yoshihisa Tagami, published in the States by Viz Comics. I suspect with this book, with this chapter, Yoshihisa kind of, he knew what he was going for, but he wasn't quite sure how to get there yet. And this is really pretty awesome. So he runs through a lot of the tropes that science fiction writers run through. If you do a compressed inhalation of like 50s sci-fi, old TV shows and movies and pulp, you'll begin to see a lot of the same tropes. And you'll recognize them from our own television because they were repeated in the 60s and 70s and 80s. And then in the 90s with Star Trek The Next Generation. So you see the same sorts of storylines played out, you know, with the A-Team and whatchamacallit, it'd always be some real estate scam, some land grab, someone, you know, muscling in on small business owners. The reason I'm not telling you what's going on here is because you really kind of don't need to know. That's why I'm talking about tropes. It was obvious that that's what Yoshihisa was writing. He now had 2 guys and 1 girl in a broken down machine in the middle of nowhere. He kind of written himself into a black hole, which is where every dystopian fantasy goes. If you're realistic about it, what happens up here is what happens every time. One sec. Forgive me, I'm really kind of excited because this is so awesome. So I had to take a drink of water. So what Yoshihisa has done is he's kind of written himself into a corner. His heroes are all battered, beaten up, and they have no one to turn to for help, and they have tons of enemies bearing down on them from every direction. There's not a lot they can do. But this also frees up the writer and the reader to just rip through this at speed. You can just absorb the action now because there's no need. He's not really saying a lot. Basically, the last conversation was Gray's broken ribs are crushing his lungs. And Lee is, of course, going to try and survive because he's got Nova now. And there's some back and forth, but I don't know how much of it is the American interpreters trying to spice things up for an American audience, or Yoshihisa just kind of, like I said, hit a wall and in an effort to be realistic with the characters, he wrote it the way it would happen. And it's awesome for that. I respect him for that. He's shown that he can do the cities and the vehicles, and he's advanced through all sorts of vehicles. He's gone through the whole gamut of basically from, World War II level style desert warfare to futuristic anti-gravity robotic drone warfare. And in 5 issues, what would really be nine issues, it ran its course. Basically, people get killed, and the phallic symbolism of the weaponry gets advanced, and you die. So here, Lee is signaling to the for a rescue, or it's not what he gets. It reminds me of 100 Bullets, or just about any movie where the heroes get murdered by their own team. Shooter with Mark Wahlberg, same kind of story. But what's awesome is despite the fact that they're dead, Gray lives on. Because he's not done yet. But now it's Gray on his own. And you can just rip through the pages. Everything is visual at this point. Visual and sound effects. And that's what I love about this book. Right now, it's just him. Earlier, I was talking about how do you do a single character story. This guy pulled it off. Persistence. And you know what? That's really what I want to talk about today. That's why it's interesting that this is, I don't know if this is influencing me from yesterday into today, or if the events that are going on, if this is just, this is everything I want to talk about, and it completely relates to my stories. I'm not saying anything yet, but I'm going to in a second. As soon as I get through this for you guys, I want to show you everything first. So Gray is just being chased down by bots. He's on his own now. Lee and Nova were killed. And he takes shelter in some ruins, a ruined city. And he finds Robert J. Dimitri. And if you survive long enough, this is what you become. Half man. He asks Gray to hook him up to his tank, and he explains Gray's asking questions about the disparity between weapons and what's going on with these computer systems and why they're doing what they're doing. And Robert J. Dimitri says he'll explain it all to him. He's been alive for 500 years. All Gray has to do is wire him into his tank before they get here. Because they're coming. They get into the tank, of course, just in time. And Robert J. Dimitri explains that as soon as a computer named Toy became sentient, its first question was why? Why the history of the world? And he came to this conclusion, the simple conclusion that Skynet came to, that mankind wants to be extinct and defines himself through suffering and war and tyranny. Although they don't say all that in here, I'm kind of paraphrasing. All they say in here is that mankind wants to be extinct. So Gray is now hanging out with his new friend, basically a centaur, a guy wired into a tank, a war machine, a cyber tank, if you will. and they're warring with bots. And that's the simplest, purest, fastest, most action-packed comic you'll ever read. And it's kind of what I want to talk about a little bit. What is going on with people fighting each other all the time? And I'm going to start with Tim Pool and Joe Fields. I've talked about Joe Fields a bunch on here before. He rides for Sci-Fi Fantasy. He has a channel called Gifted Hater, which a little bit like this channel, it prides itself on being toxic and disruptive and rebellious for no reason other than just the sheer fun of it. And because if you have a weakness, you deserve to be bullied about it because it'll make you stronger. Steve Barra, get your shit together, grow your hair out, fucking lose that gut. Barracks is played out. But you know what else is played out? OnlyFans. Which is just, all of this is coming together. So Tim Pool is out on the East Coast. I guess, I don't know, Virginia somewhere. He grew up out in Chicago. I'm from outside Chicago. I hate Tim Pool. I despise him. As a person, viscerally, I just want to beat him up. I want to take his beanie and rub it over his head and give him noogies. And I don't bully people, but that's just what that guy brings out in me. I want to slap him. He's a fuck. He hires yes men. He's like Elvis. If you go back and watch some of the old Elvis videos, Elvis is singing I'm so cool. And he's got 5 guys behind him singing, he's so cool. And there is an element, white culture used to be like that. There was, the homecoming king and queen. That was a thing. And it was a thing before they recognized it in high school. Your friends decided who you were going to go out with in small villages because they were deciding what was best for the tribe. Don't think that didn't happen for thousands of years. And now you white girls are being told to go sleep with black dudes and have kids and no baby daddy at home. And none of you were happy. But that's not true because most of the country is perfectly happy. I'm just talking to the city kids. The people out here in LA, the people in New York, Tim Pool's crowd, I can't believe this guy. So he went into some small town, excuse me. I'm exhausted. And I already went out skating today. Tim Pool went out to some small town and he did buy a DIY skate park out from under the feet of the locals. Because he wants to push right-wing politics. I'm as fucking right-wing as you can get. But you can't push anything on anyone. They have to get there on their own. I am more evil than evil. So, all the gays think they're evil, right? They're dressed up like demons. No, you're not a demon. You're nothing close to a demon. I'm the demon. I'm the demon. And the angel, because I'm the demon who wants to get back in heaven. That's Lucifer. Lucifer is the only one who asked for forgiveness. He did. And I know my true name. None of you guys know it. It's not on the document that was signed at Jebel Sheikh. My name's not on there. Everybody else signed that shit. Law is a lie. Good people don't need laws. And bad people don't listen to them anyhow. Laws are for the sheeple, the people who would be bad if they had the balls. And if they grew the balls, see, that's the thing. They're just pussies. They have no endurance. Because when you work hard enough, you realize you can earn more than you can steal. It's way easier to earn than it is to steal. To steal, you have to be the best of the best of the best to get away with it. Otherwise, you're just some schmuck in a pen because you couldn't earn fucking 3 meals a day on your own. That's pathetic. The whole world's a prison already. What do you need to go fucking live in one for? It's already a prison everywhere you go. The sky's the biggest oppressor of all. And your stomach, there's no days off. So Tim Pool, you're a cunt. You can't buy a skate park out from under some kids. And he did it anyhow. And then he tried to throw money at them and they don't want his money. Dude, go be their friend. Go be people's friend. Go find out why they hate you. But you're not going to do that because you're sitting around with a bunch of yes men. So Joe Fields, mad respect. Tucker Carlson, I don't know why I'm bringing him up. I've seen a few of his videos in the last few days. All this stuff about Trump. Trump was obviously set up. I mean, you can say it's incompetence, but incompetence is also a setup. If you put incompetent people in there and they get it wrong, well, yeah. That's what they did. They put a woman in charge. Of course it's a setup. You put a woman in charge. Are you fucking kidding me? We didn't let them drive. Okay. So I am talking about a bunch of shit about women lately, but if I could have, I would have a wife and kids, but I'm the oldest of 14 kids. My parents screwed that up. I need to have a kingdom before I try and have, a queen. I don't have a kingdom yet. And I don't even know that I need a queen. Anyhow, a lot of you guys live on outrage porn or outrage farming. It's kind of pathetic. When you look at real skaters, like Jamie Thomas, no one cares what his politics are. No one cares what Chris Cole's politics are. Competence is automatically conservative. Competence is automatically conservative. So, what I really want to talk about though is this and how it relates to my book and magic and Lovecraft and Nietzsche and Hegel and Camus and Descartes. Hope. Okay, so hope is the mindset that makes children work hard and the example of their betters. Excuse me. So if you work hard, you can accomplish things. If you put your mind to it, you can accomplish things. That is the essence of magic. Magic, we haven't done today's Wildwood Tarot yet. We may as well get to it now. Yesterday I held the box upside down. Today I'm going to hold the book upside down. So today's the 10 of arrows in not the 10. What is this? The 2 of arrows in justice. There's a lot of injustice going on. Mostly being done by people who shouldn't even wash your car. That you shouldn't trust with anything. Hope, magic, hard work, patience. That's all you need. That'll get you everything you want. That is the essence of magic. Jocko Willink is not a magician, but everyone thinks that Adolf Hitler was. The Third Reich were not politicians who practiced black magic. Some people think they were occultists who practiced politics. There's something to be said for that. Symbols have weight. And everyone hates the Star of David right now. You earned it. And that's why I can wear this to a supermarket in Sherman Oaks and strike up a conversation with a German who's incredibly happy to see me. None of the Jews said anything. I'm sure we're the only people who saw it. I'm so happy to be me. You guys have no idea. And it's all about hard work. I'm the kind of guy who could quit anywhere along the way. The reason I couldn't quit is because I have 8 younger brothers and 5 younger sisters. And I've had to compete with them my entire life. And I'm losing. They're all kicking my ass, which is awesome because I'm the coolest person I know. So I'm really happy. I hope all of you are in a place like this. Most of you leftists aren't. And it's because you insist on saying that we're evil and you're good. But just look at your own selves. Look at what you do, calling people names. You're really pretty evil, and I'm trying to be more evil than that. And I still don't want to hurt people. How many of you wished that Donald Trump had been killed, and only because you see him as a symbol of white men? That's the problem. You're so afraid of us because you've been shitting on us for decades now, and you're afraid that the Saxon will begin to hate, and his eyes will be level and straight. And what do you do then? We're the misfits. We're the Fiend Club, not you.